are gonna get home.
Home. Family.
Ready?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 science fiction adventure film 65. The film is written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, and it stars Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt. Now the film focuses on Adam Driver's character, Mills, who essentially is like an astronaut, and he volunteers to go like on this long space expedition in order to get the money he needs for an operation for his daughter, basically. And right at the beginning of the film, essentially, the ship he's on, this long haul ship he's on, hits an asteroid field and then crash lands on the planet below. When he wakes up from the crash, he discovers that he thinks he's the only one left alive. He then discovers another passenger, a young girl. So she then becomes his responsibility. He's got to try and figure out a way of getting her and him off this planet. But this planet is not exactly what he expects. It is full of prehistoric dinosaurs. It is very, very dangerous, and in many ways mirrors the Earth 65 million years ago, hence the title. Right, what are my thoughts on 65? Well, this is a film, I remember seeing the trailer for this a few months ago, and just not feeling overly inspired by it. It seemed like a film that, for the subject matter or the genre that it's heading or playing for, seemed to take itself a little bit too seriously in the trailer. And to be honest, after watching the film, well, I don't think this film is atrocious or anything like that. I think that, you know, it's a reasonably entertaining film, and most people that go and watch this, if you kind of know what you're going in there to watch, will probably have a reasonable time watching it. But you certainly won't come out thinking you've seen the, you know, one of your favourite films over the last few years or anything like that. It's definitely not that, but it's also not a bad watch either. But it is a film that, for me, and I thought about this a couple of times when I watched it, I just couldn't for the life of me figure out why this film exists, really. Obviously, it's been quite a bit of money pumped into it because the effects are good. You know, for the most part, the CGI and dinosaur effects are quite excellent, if I'm honest. But it's almost like, if this had come out, I'm not really sure how you're going to make this and think this is going to make us a fortune. Because, like I say, it does take itself too seriously. There's only really two characters in this film for 95% of the runtime. You've got Adam Driver and you've got this young girl who he rescues, Koa. And she can't even speak English particularly well. So you've got a language barrier between them, so there's not a great deal of dialogue going on. And it is almost like something goes wrong, and then there's a scene where they get attacked by dinosaurs, or there's a scene where they're in real danger and real terror, and then it's just rinse and repeat for the rest of the film. There's no real narrative or story here other than they need to get to this location to get in this pod from the other half of the ship that's crash landed to kind of get off this planet, and they've got to do it before this asteroid comes crashing down, sort of thing. So, and that is your film, really. And it's a bit like, I don't know, it's like going out for a meal and someone serving you a McDonald's or something. You know what I mean? And you've gone to what you think is a fancy restaurant, and someone puts a Big Mac in front of you, and you're kind of like, well, I don't mind Big Macs, but I didn't come out to this restaurant to eat it. And it might sound like a weird analogy of that, but that's just the feeling. It didn't satisfy me, this film. And again, I do want to reiterate, I don't think this is a bad film. I think this is entertaining enough. There are a couple of decent moments of tension building here in the film. And I don't think any of the performances are bad. It's just an odd film. It's almost like the film's got a real lack of personality. and it just, I think it almost needed to, it needed a few more characters, and it needed to maybe lighten up a little bit more, because, you know, the dynamics of the film, once you get this, you know, once you get Adam Driver and this child, the dynamics of film is there, and it never really shifts from that. It's just like a fight for survival for the rest of the film. And it gets to the point where you're kind of like, well, I've seen this now. What else have you got? And even the variety of dinosaurs in the film is not that vast, really. And, you know, is it going for like the original Planet of the Apes vibe? You know what I mean? Has he gone back in time in some ways to Earth 65 million years ago? Or has he travelled from another place and crash landed on Earth 65 million years ago? Again, it doesn't necessarily, unless I missed something, I could have, there was a couple of times I almost fell asleep, and, you know, that's me being a bit cruel maybe, but maybe there was a bit of narrative I missed where it did kind of explain that, but that's kind of what I took away from this film. Is that what it's trying to say, that this is Earth 65 million years ago? I think it is, but again, it doesn't make the narrative absolutely clear. So, if this is one of those films that if you go into it knowing what you're going to get, which is a reasonably entertaining science fiction farce, if you like, that does kind of take itself a little bit too seriously, you will have a little bit of fun here with this film. You know, some of the action scenes are decently done, and like I said, I do think the effects are of a good standard, but this was never, in my opinion, going to be the blockbuster that I think the people behind this film thought it was going to be. Adam Driver, as good an actor as he is, doesn't have the personality and charisma to maybe carry this film forward. And like I say, he's interacting with someone that can't speak English in this film, so he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders in this film, Adam Driver. And, you know, it doesn't necessarily pay off. You know, it's a little bit of a dull affair, wrapped up in a interesting premise that's not exactly executed to a standard that you would hopefully look to see in a film like this. It's an odd one, this, because I don't think it's doing disastrously bad at the cinema, but I suspect this is one of those films that isn't going to make its money back, because I would imagine it had a pretty vast budget behind this one, and I'd be very, very surprised if it did. But yeah, see what you think, guys. If this is a film that interests you, get yourself to the cinema and support it. You know what I mean? Because it's a new film. It's trying to be something original, and like I say, I'm not here to really give it a hard time. But did I really enjoy this film? I'd be lying if I said I did. But at the same time, I don't think it's a poor quality film. I think there's somebody out there that will really enjoy this. So from my perspective, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. So yeah, check this one out, guys, if you think this is a film for you. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.